I was born Marcus Wyatt in Seattle, Washington in 1967, the summer of love. Thomas Chong, of the comedy duo Cheech and Chong fame, lifelong friend of the family, my Uncle Tommy, flew me to Los Angeles for my 9th birthday to go to the premiere of Up in Smoke. I moved to Los Angeles, and I was discovered at 10 years old and became a child actor, and the actor Marcus Wyatt was born. My first booking was called What is a Community? 3 educational films made for the unified school system. My second booking was for Warner Brothers Studios, Burbank, Gate 5. Warner Brothers became my first home on the epic miniseries Roots, The Next Generation.
They accepted me.
Papa, who's there? Mama home yet?
No, honey, she's not home yet.
What's that white lady doing here, Papa?
Frankie, this lady is just visiting. Go on back to bed now, honey.
I want Mama to take me in.
Mama's not home yet now, please.
Frankie, would you like me to take you in?
This is the call sheet for Roots. I was the only child actor working on the episode with so many great talents. It was a stellar cast. George Stafford Brown, Henry Fonda as my grandfather. I was in all the newspapers around the world. I got a lot of fan mail. People magazine with Olivia de Havilland, my big scene. And I awoke a child star. As a Warner Brothers actor, I became eligible to join the Screen Actors Guild. A $1,000 membership fee with quarterly dues. It was a lot of money to start for a 10-year-old, but I was on my way. My next job was Little House on the Prairie as Samson. Working with Michael Landon was a great experience. Everyone loved Michael Landon. I appeared in magazines like Variety, TV Guide, which was a pretty big deal back then. I also starred in shows like Lazarus Syndrome with Lou Gossett Jr., Angie, Dallas, the movie Blood Beach, and Cheech and Chong's next movie. Here's a photo of me in the famous piano scene. I kept working on shows like Facts of Life, and I did a little modeling even. And coming of age, I fell in love. I became a teen idol, and at 21 years old, I made my debut on Broadway.
Talk, and I'll listen. I'll try to understand.
Listen, Mr. Griffin, but don't understand.
Yeah, there's a problem here, man, but it isn't me. I'm doing all I can. This is my life. This is my life, man, and I'm living it. Are you listening to me?
I'm listening.
Don't. I'll tell you about your life, man. You don't come down here for Leah or anybody else. You come down here because you look around at college and you say to yourself, damn, man, this can't be my life. So you come down here to find out what's going on in the streets. You come down here to watch people like me live, and you take stories back to your friends at parties on high floors of glass buildings. You talk about me to your friends, tell him no. Yes, and they all think, what a nice guy he is. What a good white boy. Man, white people, they live scared to death they're gonna fail out of some school, and they die thinking, Jesus, I hope they all know what a nice boy I've been. But your friends, they take one look at me and they think, call a cop. That's because I'm no schoolboy. I'm a man. Look, all I'm trying to do is help Lee. To hell with Lee. Lee's got a lot of talent. Lee's got talent. What about me, man? What about me? Look, I could help you. Help me what, man? I could help you get back into school. School? I graduated. I thought you got thrown out. I graduated. I didn't wait for nobody's permission to graduate. I left when I was ready. Not when Father Larkin told me I was ready. As long as you still need somebody to tell you when you finish with school, you still a boy, and you're still a boy, aren't you? White boy, you going back to school? Yes, not me, man. I graduated. I can't go back. This is my life. Look,
I was honored with the prestigious Theatre World Award in 1991. The William Morris Agency approached me while I was performing on Broadway, asking to be my agent, but for only commercials, so I passed. I fell in love with the dramatic theater and the stage. I worked with Kenneth Branagh's Renaissance Theater Company. I met the legendary queen of American method acting, Stella Adler. I continued to do television shows like Hard Time on Planet Earth, Beauty and the Beast, and many more, until I got my first series, Street Justice. While I was doing the TV show, I was also filming the motion picture American Heart, produced and starring Jeff Bridges, based off the Academy Award documentary Streetwise. Jeff was a pleasure and a consummate artist. I next starred in Vanishing Sun, a miniseries, as Fuqua Johnson, the bitter melon. Then came my role as Huey P. Newton in Panther.
In other national news, President Johnson's press secretary has emphatically denied the rumor that the White House is considering ordering the bombing of Cambodia by our strategic bomber. The Viet Cong have increased border attacks.
Welcome. But the judge, have you decided to get down with us?
Hey, I'm Dan.
Yeah, you a lot of help with those guns? Your soldier badass.
Well, look, I'd hope to be done with all that now.
Lucky to be back. Most brothers die in the front lines. Seems like that's what they're there for. You mind if I ask you a question? Where do you get the money to go to school?
GI Bill. Plus, I got a little shrapnel in my leg. It's no problem anymore, but I still get my disability checks. We hit a landmine.
I thought a landmine was supposed to be fatal.
It was for the two guys in front of me.
Well, you volunteered or something.
Reform school or something. The court said that or the military. If I stuck around here, I'd end up drunk or dead. Why all the questions, man?
Security. Security for Sister Betty Shabazz has got to be tight.
Panther became an instant classic, and I found myself famous on the cover of every newspaper around the world. Variety, LA Weekly, USA Today, the LA Times, the New York Times, amongst others. Reviews were outstanding. Many felt I was completely overlooked for an Academy Award. I made two big mistakes after filming Panther. First, hiring the casting director Robbie Reed to be my manager. The second, letting her talk me into signing with the William Morris Agency. I had jobs lined up with the William Morris Agency, but the first film I did, a low budget, called High Frequency. The second film, another low budget, done as a favor through nepotism, the project called Pure Danger. A friend, whom I once considered family, decided to be a villain. The name of this villain is C. Thomas Howell. See, my cousin and lifelong friend, mentor, Radong Chong, since my early childhood was a star, an amazing beauty of the silver screen. Well, the camera loves her. She starred in a film called Soul Man with C. Thomas Howell, a controversy. Still, Radong Chong married C. Thomas Howell, and it soon became a Hollywood nasty divorce. My film Panther was still in the theaters at the time, and my career was on the climb. C. Thomas Howell begged me to act in his directorial debut, Pure Danger. The gun pointing at my head is no accident. After the Pure Danger film was complete, I was hired by my past Broadway producers and director to star in a new play called Blade to the Heat at the Mark Taper Forum. C. Thomas refused to accept that I was working and demanded me to do the voiceover called looping when I was already scheduled on the play. He went nuts, calling me 20 times a day, threatening me, using the N-word, and cursing at me. C. Thomas said if I didn't do what he said, he would make sure William Morris Agency would never work with me again. I had only been with the agent 5 months. So I called my point agent, Allison Bann, and William Morris Agency, and she said, William Morris represents you, Marcus, I don't. And she hung up the phone on me. William Morris would never take a call again. I knew C. Thomas and his agent, Danny Sussman, were involved. His personal assistant and associate of Pure Danger, Frank, considered to tell me everything in this phone call.
Frank, I want to ask you something. What can you remember that went down between CT and William Morris and me at that time? Like, to your recollection?
My recollection was going back to the day when you did part of the looping and you had to go, and going back to that day. Is CT saying that he's going to call his agent because nobody treats him like that, that this is ridiculous. He's going to get his agency involved and they'll make you come back, and he's really pissed off. He's going to talk to his agency. And stuff like that. There was no actual, I've been thinking a lot about it. I'm like, it was only an implied thing that he's going to get you. But, you know what I mean? It wasn't like getting you like that. It was like through the agency, like I'm going to get the agency to do it. That kind of thing. And it was because of this whole thing. And it was because, I'm sure, I mean, I don't know. Okay, this is, actually, I can't say I'm sure, but I have to speculate from my own feelings that it was Gabby Malouf, who was responsible for the entire fuck up in the first place, and he was responsible for me losing the job.
Yeah, but Gabby didn't call William Morris and stuff like that. You sure that Gabby called William Morris?
Maybe not Gabby personally, but I'm sure the PM Entertainment was major behind it. I'm sure that not only did CT call and complain as the director, but I'm sure that contractually the company called a bunch of times and was reaming William Morris. You know, we do business with you, we hire all your actors, and look at this actor won't. I'm sure. But I do know that, CT was going to call William Morris and complain about this whole situation, and that it's not done like that because he felt that, he thought there was only 2 more lines, whatever, that were needed to be recorded, whatever. It was a whole big fuck up. And
yeah, he thought it was going to be just 2 more lines. It ended up being like 2 more scenes, and he just had someone else come in and loop over my voice.
Mally Finn, the casting director for the Best Picture Titanic, got my number from Screen Actors Guild and personally called me at home. She told me when we first spoke. Mally Finn asked if I was interested in doing a new film for Warner Brothers called The Matrix, in the starring role as Tank the Operator in the motion picture. 4 days later, I did a screen test for Mally Finn. The Matrix writers and directors Larry and Andy Wachowski, the Wachowski brothers, hired me on the spot. Warner Brothers was my employer. Joe Silver's my boss. They wouldn't need a callback. I called William Morris' agency, offered them The Matrix on a silver platter without them doing any work. William Morris refused, and so I decided to move on with my life and never do business with William Morris again. I called my manager, Robbie Reed, and she backed William Morris up. Robbie Reed said if William Morris doesn't want to represent you, then they don't have to, contract or no contract. Robbie Reed hung me out to dry on The Matrix. After a year being hired on The Matrix, I still wasn't paid a cent, and it was costing me a fortune to prepare for the movie. The LA rehearsals and training went on for 3 months. The associate producer, Angela Pritchard, the only decent professional I worked with on The Matrix. When a producer employs a performer in the United States and transports him anywhere outside the United States for a motion picture, the terms of the SAG Basic Agreement shall apply. Warner Brothers would not apply. Here's a SAG one-sheet Warner Brothers refused to fill out to make The Matrix a union film, which they could do at this very moment retroactively. They preferred to break the law and steal the money, rather than honor the deal with the Screen Actors Guild. So Warner Brothers, through Matrix Production, faxed my manager the arrangements of cashing in my first-class airfare, my first-class hotel accommodations, to put me up in an apartment and began forcing me to live for 3 months on my wages before I was even paid a first check. Warner Brothers put it on me to pay for my travel visa to arrive for work in Sydney, Australia. My first day to film on The Matrix in a foreign country I'd never been to, I had to walk to work. No car, no pickup, no shuttle. It was on me. So, at sunrise, I had to find my way to Fox Studios, Sydney, Australia. It was about 5 miles, so I jogged each morning to set. When I first arrived at the studio, the security guards wouldn't let me on the lot. After 30 minutes of waiting, the guards finally called the production office to request a production assistant run down to verify me. This became a routine, and and one of the many inside jokes Matrix Productions would begin pulling on me. Finally, I arrived to set. There was no dressing room for me. I wanted to call Screen Actors Guild because the situation seemed like a crisis and becoming an emergency, but they wouldn't let me use any phones in the office, so I had to find a payphone. Finally, I got through to SAG, but Screen Actors Guild said they would do nothing to help me, and SAG basically hung up the phone on me. Larry Wachowski said to me while filming, "If The Matrix isn't a hit, I'm going to have to go back to driving cabs in Chicago." I told him it would be a hit. I kept a smile on my face and did my job to protect my performance and career. After the first day of filming, I had to walk home from a long day's work. It was quickly becoming a routine. The weeks of filming went on, and on, and on. I delivered a master performance despite the fake SAG contract and the crimes of my bosses, Warner Brothers, Joe Silvers, Keanu Reeves, Larry and Andy Wachowski. While their plans of stealing all my pension monies and my royalties, I fulfilled a grand performance, but I could never make my bosses be honest. Joey Pantoliano, the actor who plays the role of Cypher, told me he was being paid $1 million, and he deserves it. That isn't the point. I walked over to Larry and Andy Wachowski on set, and I asked them, "You paid Joey $1 million?" Larry and Andy Wachowski looked at Joey and exclaimed, "You told him?" Cypher gets $1 million. Who's the villain I kill in the movie and save the world from, who doesn't return to the sequels as my character Tank does. Morpheus gets $7 million. Neo gets $15 million up front, but Keanu Reeves, the producer, the original investor in The Matrix, gets 15% of the gross profit on the back end. Keanu is a silent producer on The Matrix. Tank the operator got paid a total of $28,000, which was spent relocating back to Los Angeles, California. Upon my return home, privileged talent agent President Carol Aliski, a legitimate, hardworking agent, began working with me, but she never got very far, even though the huge new film Matrix was premiering soon, and I was one of its stars. She wrote this letter. "I first met Marcus Chong after he completed working on The Matrix. He came to me looking for an agent who would be helpful in building his career. We began working together sometime in 1999. When I contacted Warner Brothers to get a promotional material on Marcus, I ran up against a brick wall. No one would talk to me about him. It was almost as though he didn't exist. After pushing and pushing, the advertising department finally sent me 4 snapshots of Marcus. No promo package or press kit, which I later discovered he was excluded from. I have also discovered that Marcus has been blackballed from Warner Brothers production companies. No one will meet with him or give him the opportunity to work on any projects related to Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers Studios was doing everything they could to cover up the fake SAG contract and make Marcus Chong disappear before The Matrix was even released in the theaters. For no reason, Warner Brothers barred me from the studio lot in Burbank from participating in any Matrix events. Finally, The Matrix opened up in the theaters.
Morning. Did you sleep? You will tonight. I guarantee it. I'm Tank. I'll be your operator.
You don't have any holes?
Nope. Me and my brother Dozer were both 100% pure, old-fashioned, homegrown human, born free right here in the real world. Genuine child of Zion.
Zion?
If the war was over tomorrow, Zion's where the party would be.
It's a city.
The last human city. The only place we have left.
Where is it?
Deep underground, near the Earth's core where it's still warm. You live long enough, you might even see it. God damn. I gotta tell you, I'm fairly excited to see what you're capable of. If Morpheus is right, no. We're not supposed to talk about this. But if you are, it's a very exciting time. We got a lot to do. We gotta get to it. Now, I'm supposed to start with these operation programs first. That's Major Bar. Let's do something a little more fun. How about combat training?
The Matrix took in cash hand over fist. Ticket sales went through the roof, domestically and worldwide. I guess Larry Wachowski wouldn't have to go back to driving cabs in Chicago after all. I never saw 1 penny more for The Matrix, not even a cent for my tank doll. With such a big hit, Warner Brothers needed to do The Matrix sequels in 2001 in order to clean house and rake in all the cash for themselves. Dear Marcus, got your card and the candle is happily burning in the dining room on this blissful autumn day. Thanks for your words. Hope you are well. Take care. Many blessings and warmth of spirit. Peace, Thea. Brother Larry. Warner Brothers, Joe Silvers, Keanu Reeves, Larry and Andy Wachowski needed to make the Matrix sequels in order to cash in. They also needed to force fake SAG contracts again to get the job done. So these bosses came with a plan to have their agent and also silent producer, William Morris, of the Matrix sequels, taking 5% of the gross to call me and force the fake SAG contract. My phone rang. I picked it up, and it was the William Morris agency, calling because I was a star in the #1 movie in the world, and they needed all the core stars from the original to make a legit trilogy. On my phone was the William Morris agent, Dave Wirtschafter, a perfect stranger. I don't know how he got my phone number. This is a person I had never met or seen or heard of before. This is the face of Dave Wirtschafter, the big-time Hollywood agent who calls my home, threatening me to act in my own Matrix sequels. Take any deal the Wachowski brothers offer. What else have you got? I told Dave Wirtschafter, call my agent Carol Liskey at Privileged Talent or my entertainment attorneys. Dave Wirtschafter, nor Warner Brothers, would ever make or take any calls from my agents or attorneys. I told him I wasn't interested unless I got a legal contract for the movies, and William Morris take a cut as my agent. Dave Wirtschafter said, William Morris could never take a cut, nor be my agent. It was a favor for the Wachowskis, but they would never take no for an answer. The writers and directors of The Matrix, Andy and Larry Wachowski, wanted Mr. Chong to appear in the 2 sequels. Since Mr. Chong did not have an agent, the Wachowskis asked their agent, David Wirtschafter, at William Morris, to negotiate with Warner Brothers on Mr. Chong's behalf. Mr. Wirtschafter did so without any objections from Mr. Chong. Apart from Mr. Wirtschafter's attempt to negotiate Mr. Chong's deal for the sequels as a favor to the Wachowskis, William Morris has never been Mr. Chong's talent agent. Beginning with the second paragraph, at this time his deal is still being negotiated by his lawyers. That was a lie. Written by Phil Osterhaus, the personal assistant to the Wachowskis for Warner Brothers. The letter reads very clearly from the second line, I offered to do the movies for free, or Warner pays my fee. Dear Marcus, we knew this was going to be a very difficult process, but we continued to hold on to hope that it would work out until we received your letter. While we completely understand the strong position you have taken, Warner Brothers does not. We realize that we made a mistake in placing ourselves between you and them, but we are still young and learning. After being attacked these past weeks from both sides, we've come to the conclusion that a compromise is impossible and accepted that it is in the best interest of all parties to move on. We thank you for your trying as long as you did. Best of luck, etc., etc. Larry and Andy. Hello? Hello? Mr. Chong? Yes, who is this? How are you doing? Who's this? My name's Stephen Slack. Well, I'm here taking the call. Oh, who are you taking the call for? I don't know. They said pick up the line. Well, I think they got the wrong guy. No, I'm it. I'm from Warner Brothers. What do you need? What can I do for you, Steve? Well, you call me, man. I'm not calling you. I was calling to leave a message for Andy. Yeah? Well, I'm taking the call from Mr. Wachowski. Okay, I don't have your address. Why don't you give it to me? Okay, 3615 Chesapeake Avenue. Andy's got my address. You come by my address, boy, I'll shoot you in your head, man. You hear me? You got an apartment number? Number 1. That's in Venice. You come by here, I'll blow your head off. Oh, we're going to see. Oh, what are you going to do? We're going to see. Be man enough to call it out. Be man enough to say what you're going to do. Hey, man, I'm a little guy. I don't make decisions. Be man enough to say what you're going to do, big man. No, I ain't going to say it on the phone.
What you doing sitting in the station for,
Andy Wachowski, please. Andy Wachowski, please. Andy Wachowski, please. No, I should just leave it on your voicemail. I should just leave it on your voicemail. I'll call back and just leave it on your voicemail. It has nothing to do with you. I'm going to be leaving this message. It has nothing to do with you. So, well, he sent an assassin to take my address and come and fuck with me, so I don't like it, okay? That's right. I said he got an assassin, his security guy on the phone with me instead of some lawyer to talk to me, and the guy threatened me, and I didn't take that very kindly. I never threatened you. You have nothing to do with it. I'm making a documentary. I'm a filmmaker, and I'm making a documentary on the exploitation that No, you guys are sick, and I'm not going to participate in the sickness and exploitation of me. Do you understand that? I got a hold of myself. Nothing's going to happen to me. Oh, what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to me?
It's so crazy, Bert.
I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. You'll see in my document. We'll see who's crazy when my documentary is finished.
It's your life.
No, I didn't pass up anything. I offered to do it for free.
You were not. You're so greedy. You couldn't stand to not get $1 million.
Greedy? You think that's greedy? $1 million is greedy? You think it's a... I told them that... Oh, you do. Well, that's a...
You're not part. You're not the star.
I never said I was a star.
You did.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
You said you were a star.
That's not true.
Marcus, don't fuck with me, because I am so mad at the end.
You don't know... You guys don't know nothing about anger. Well, let me tell you something. I ain't gonna stop. I'm gonna do my thing, and I'm gonna make my documentary, and...
Good luck.
Thank you.
You don't want anything but the best for me.
You never wanted the best for me. You never wanted the best for me. That's all there is to it. That's why he sent his assassin to take my address, right? Is that right? He told me he was going to come to my house, and I said, if you ever come to my house, I'll blow your head off. I built that fucking office with them. Yes, I did. I built it with them, baby. With them.
Marcus, any good actor could have done it.
Hey, well then why didn't they choose another good actor?
I wish they had.
Well, you know what? They didn't, and that's the fucking problem.
I want to know.
Yeah, well, hey, they can do whatever they want, and the truth will still be revealed. It don't make a difference what they do. It's
You're going crazy, Marcus. Please help.
The help is coming. It's gonna come in my documentary.
Yeah, well, I wish you the best for your documentary, but please get help for yourself.
And you get help too, because you guys are gonna live with all your money in your new house, all your stuff, all your new house, your wonderful this, your wonderful that, and it's all gonna fall apart. I am not jealous, baby. That's my blood and my sweat on that film. That's my blood and my sweat on that film. That ain't jealousy. Oh, really? What do you know about what I've gone through? What do you know about my sweat and my participation? You're a speculator. You're a speculator. You don't know the truth. You're living in a lie, in some kind of like bullshit. No, I'm not living in a lie. Oh no, we'll see in the documentary what lie is being lived.
Well, maybe we'll make it. I'll make it.
Good. Do it. Do it. Do it. Don't worry. This is all being filmed. This ain't no problem.
Good.
This is part of the documentary. This is my footage.
Let me ask you some questions.
Yeah, go ahead. Ask me a question.
You threatened to blow someone's head?
The reason I threatened to blow the security man's head off is because he threatened to come to my house and kill me.
Marcus, there's no way that happened.
Oh, really?
They have cameras and...
Oh, really? You're telling me he didn't ask me for my address to come over here?
They knew your address, Marcus.
Wait. Are you telling me I'm not telling you? You call him tomorrow. I bet you $100 million that is exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened. I got it on film, and that is exactly what happened. He told me he was going to come to my house.
Well, they're getting camera users and probably really good.
What are you talking? We were on the phone, and when he told me he was going to come over here, I told him, if you ever step on my property, I will blow your fucking head off, because that is an act of violence.
Well, they have it on the machine.
Well, good. It's on my machine too. I never threaten nobody. I don't threaten. I'm a fucking filmmaker. I'm not a gangbanger. I'm a filmmaker. I shoot with film. I do not shoot with guns. I speak daggers. I use none. But I will speak the truth. But when he threatened to come over to my house, assault this man. Don't assault this man. Just because you got all the money in the world don't give you the right to assault this man. You just fired him. It was $1 million deal. You think he ain't gonna be pissed? It's $1 million deal. What you think? I'm not gonna come down there and be like, yo, what the fuck? Fuck you. This is Venice. I just ride on my bike, man, in Venice. Yeah, that's right. I've been saying that for months.
Been traveling.
I know, I never take it.
I heard it was a raw deal. They didn't want to give you the money you wanted to play.
Yeah, no, they offered me $250,000 for 2 motion pictures, Matrix 2 and 3. $250,000. No billing, no hotel, nothing like that.
So you have to pay for all your own expenses?
I guess so. No per
6
diem
months?
for a year. And until, I guess, and that's
Somebody with a valid
she was
license
away.
that can come down here with you?
And,
You need to drag him down here.
I was like,
Get the one-day permit.
why am I going to do the movie? I said, I'd rather look for UPS than do the movie for $250,000. I was like, first of all, on Matrix 1, I don't get no residuals for all those DVDs.
You get no residuals at all?
I'll get one residual.
Wait, let me write this down in your business card.
That's unheard of. Now, they forced me, they insisted that I had their agent, Dave Wershafter of William Morris Agency, represent me on this deal instead of my lawyers. They insisted on 10 times, and that's why Screen Actors Guild is about to get on the ass, because that's illegal. You cannot do that. That's mafia tactics. And then when I didn't agree to their terms, they wouldn't come at me. They want to starve me out. Right? And then I tell you,
Just come right back here. Yeah.
we'll do this 100 times.
That's for audit executive. Once you get all your stuff.
She didn't say who her boss was or anything like that.
Probably.
Okay.
Specific Community Police Station, so somebody can help you. Okay. Oh. Okay, hold on one second, let me check. Pacific Community Police Station, so somebody can help you.
No.
Where did you get the injury to your arm? Where did you get the injury?
You know, now they don't want me doing my documentary. They don't want me doing all the things that's going down because they want to keep the story hidden. They want to keep it under wraps. Yeah, I know. They want to keep it under wraps. And I'm like, no. Now, everyone in the world is going to know this story because Paul Robeson didn't have a camera when he was there, but we got one now. You see, this is a different age.
This is a different age. You can't just exploit somebody in this day and age because we can record it. And I'm the top of the game. This is the #1 franchise in the world. Competes with Star Wars. They don't want to give me $1 million. That's all I wanted. Cypher, the guy I killed in Matrix 1, got $1 million for that one movie. They want me to do 3 movies for $250. Yeah. Marcus Chong, I called you earlier. Yes, you said I could come and
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, how did you recognize me? Here it just came out.
Which one did you take into the backyard? The one that was driving or the other one? Okay, and she was also female Spanish? And she would be, say, what, late English? Late 30s.
Are you here for the detective, right? Mike, do me a favor. Come on in here for a minute. We're going to go back here. Go in here. No, the detectives want to talk to you.
That's why
He'll get a call, and he can give you guys a call. I can tell you now his bill's $50,000.
But I'm seeing there's usually a number to call. What's the call? Inmate information?
No, that's county. We're city. That's county. Now, tomorrow or the next day, if you went to county jail, you could do that.
That's what I'll
But he'll call you in a little while, I'm sure.
Cool.
Okay, thanks for bringing him down, guys.
My name is David. I'm an old friend of Marcus's. He called me today. He said he had a plan. He wanted to work out a solution with the people he was having problems negotiating with. He'd felt threatened because of some insinuations that they made on the phone regarding his well-being. And he was concerned. He decided to get some people to document the event and get cooperation from the police so that no one would come to any harm, particularly himself, because he felt like he was at risk. So he asked me to give him a ride, which I did, so we could meet up with the film crew, and then supposedly obtain help from the police. On arriving at the LA police station in Culver City, the detectives have taken Marcus into custody and not told us under what charges.
This is the exact sheet of photos sent to the LAPD of my role in Panther as Huey P. Newton. Inserting Huey P. Newton's name made it possible for the false police report, all because I wanted nothing to do with the sequels. Warner Brothers' attorney says here, attached as Exhibit 2 are photographs in the upper right is Mr. Chong in his role as Tank from the motion picture The Matrix. The photographs in the lower left and the lower right depict Mr. Chong in his role as Huey P. Newton in the film Panther. Michael R. Leslie, under penalty of perjury. If the earlier email was not clear, I will repeat it here. SAG-AFTRA's decision that it cannot and will not pursue any claims on The Matrix was final many years ago and will not be revisited. I am not and never have been your attorney. My sole client is and has been SAG-AFTRA in connection with this matter. I do not owe you any duty as an attorney. Kate Chilton, Senior Litigation Counsel for Warner Brothers. You should contact SAG about this. SAG is your representative and will make any claim on your behalf, if a claim is warranted. Then there's the peculiar case of Marcus Chong, who played Tank, one of the 4 major human characters to survive the original. The actor had a falling out with the producers and embarked on a series of bizarre episodes, which he told EW included crashing a press junket, harassing the directors by phone, and sneaking into and taking food from the Matrix offices on the Warner Brothers lot in Burbank. He was surprisingly not invited back for the sequels. 6 actors who sabotaged their own careers. Who is Marcus Chong? Exactly. The actor played the key role of tech operator Tank in the first Matrix, and was all set to come back for the rest of the trilogy when talks allegedly broke down over his salary demands. He subsequently sued the filmmakers and studios, saying that they had succeeded in essentially blackballing him from Hollywood. Although they countered by arguing he was verbally threatening them by phone, which resulted in him getting arrested in 2000, October. I ran into Anthony Ray Parker, who played Dozer in The Matrix as an actor hired out of New Zealand. I asked him, "Are you getting any royalties from The Matrix?" He said, "Yes, aren't you?" I told him, "No, I've never been paid one royalty." He said it would have made a big difference. I contacted the MEAA, the Australian Actors Union, and they confirmed that the Australian actors were being paid royalties, just not American SAG actors. The Unsung Heroes of the Matrix Fund. Keanu gives £50 million to the Unsung Heroes of the Matrix. Here's the truth of what the article doesn't say. Keanu stole all the money from all the artists on The Matrix from many art departments like animation, stunts, and acting, while working in 97 and 98. This Unsung Heroes of the Matrix was concocted in 2004 for late payment for only 2 of the departments that had never been paid. A payment for their silence and a way to avoid taxes and get the full amount back. Sorsha, the press gang for the WeWantTank.com. MCAT, the Marcus Chong Tank Coalition.
When you were young and your heart was an open book, you used to say, live and let live. But if this ever-changing world in which we live in makes you give in and cry, say live and let die. Live and let die. Live and let die. Live and let die. Used to say, live and let live. But if this ever-changing world in which we live in makes you give in and cry, say live and let die.